forum. And I meant to bring up the newspaper format article in black and white that's on the back table by Empowered Texans. I don't know if you received that at your home, but I did, and it has be sure to take one with you today. Michael, thank you for publishing that. There's some outstanding articles in there. There's a great article by Elizabeth Graham from Texas Right to Life and some other very important things. They're short articles that won't take a long time to read and worth your time and passing along to other people. I just wanted to report on the status of some bills. House Bill 1745 by Cecil Bell was left pending in House State Affairs, and that's marriage only between one man and one woman. And we are hoping that they will move that bill out of committee. You might want to call John Smithy and tell him to push that out of committee. American Law for American Courts, known as ALAC, is Jeff Leach's bill, House Bill 562. At a hearing last week, and that's sitting in committee. That is John Smithy's committee. Please, you might contact him and thank him for holding a hearing on the bill. This is important that we get this out of House Judiciary and Civil Jurisprudence.
So is it pending? Is that what you're saying? It's left pending also, or is it?
I beg your pardon?
After the hearing, where is it?
It's pending.
It's pending. Thank you for asking.
You said it's in another committee as well?
I beg your pardon?
It's in another committee as well?
That is in ask your question again. It's in one committee. It was in House Judiciary and Civil Jurisprudence.
And I think, if I can add, I think that their schedule today is to take up pending, yes, their schedule today is to consider pending business.
So they could vote on any bills.
So that could be anything.
They could vote on any bills that they've heard in that committee that they haven't voted on.
Okay.
They haven't moved out of committee. There's a bill by Senator Don Huffines, Senate Bill 1340, to eliminate red light cameras. And the public hearing yesterday was canceled, so that's a good bill that we should support. House Bill 3567 by Scott Sanford will protect pastors from being forced to perform a marriage that would violate their religious beliefs. And we're hoping that you will contact your representatives and ask them to support House Bill 3567. Representative Matt Krause has a great bill, House Bill 454, and that would increase the waiting period for divorce for 180 days. Right now, it seems that you can just put, your spouse's moccasins outside the TP and you are no longer married, and we just have to rein in this no-fault divorce and also no waiting period to get a divorce. That bill was left pending in committee. They had a public hearing last week, and as I say, call your state rep and ask them to support House Bill 454. There's also Matt Krause's bill, House Bill 815, which is about the online solicitation of minors. And that was left pending in House Criminal Jurisprudence Committee. I know I live in Weatherford, and it seems I'm always reading in the newspaper of how they have a sting operation of this little town 30 miles west of Fort Worth, where they set up and people come from a long ways thinking they're going to meet with a young girl, and they meet a law enforcement person instead. But we'd like to do away with online solicitation of minors. House Bill 628 by Stuart Spitzer would allow pharmacists to fill prescriptions signed by nurse practitioners or physician assistants. School-based clinics have long wanted nurse practitioners to prescribe birth control pills, which was the primary purpose of a school-based clinic that Kathy Adams visited years ago. And she was told that over 90% of the services provided by that clinic was treatment for birth control and STDs. This is a big parental rights issue, and we would like to oppose House Bill 628 that would allow nurse practitioners and physician assistants and to write prescriptions that pharmacists would be allowed to fill for girls And so parents would never know that their kids are getting their prescriptions, okay?
Would that be an across-the-board prescription writing, so that some nurse could write
Yes, you might,
medical
right,
marijuana?
right. And so we would like, some parents might not mind if a nurse gives their kid an aspirin or something like that, but this would be a prescription, yes.
Have you met with Stuart yet and just talked to him about making that as an exemption for minors and birth control?
To make it an exemption?
So that they can prescribe other things. So amend it so that they can prescribe other.
A parent, this is a parental rights issue.
No, I understand. That's what I'm
Like somebody else
saying.
writing a prescription for something else for your kid, say Prozac or something, Ritalin.
The issue is, I think, for a long time, there's been some interest in trying to break up the prescription monopoly. It's a real barrier to healthcare that only doctors can prescribe drugs. So it's an interesting issue. I hadn't heard that issue before. That's a very real parental rights concern of a bill like that.
Yeah.
I think, but you should go talk to Spitzer, because there's some good things being achieved with that legislation, and there's no reason that you can't fix the bad
Okay, I'll take
to
your
deal with the good.
suggestion.
Yeah,
But
because you
if
can
that's
amend
a-
it so they can't prescribe to minors still.
Yeah, but if that's across the board, I don't think nurses should be prescribing drugs, especially the super powerful Alzheimer type drugs. Even experienced doctors aren't sure about the interactions. This is a dangerous thing if it's wide open.
Well, you can always limit it, but.
Yeah, but what are the limits in it? Is it limited now, the way it's written?
Marilyn, do you have other items?
Just one other bill, House Bill 3403 by Jeff Leach. This requires that schools teach patriotism. Right now, actually, we have great Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills for social studies, and I was there when they hammered those out a couple of years ago. They are really excellent, and they do teach and emphasize patriotism. However, this bill would also require that school district generated and purchased curriculum, including advanced placement and international baccalaureate social studies, must be in compliance with the Texas Essential Knowledge and Skills. And this is very important because last session, Dan Huberty passed House Bill 462, which prohibits the teaching of Common Core in Texas. There is a clause in that bill that says that King's X, advanced placement, and the International Baccalaureate can teach Common Core. If you go to the International Baccalaureate website, you will see that they support the Common Core curriculum, so they can teach Common Core in the International Baccalaureate schools in Texas, and we have hundreds of them. So that is very important. That's a good bill, especially in that respect, that would not allow that it would require that AP and International Baccalaureate Social Studies be in compliance with the TEAS. And I thank you very much.
Thank you, Marilyn. Appreciate that.